Okay. Welcome. I hope you can see me. Okay, there's Bree and Dean. Perfect. Okay, welcome to yoga. Yeah, 2 blocks, and just find a comfortable seat to start. We'll start sitting on the block. I like putting my pelvis up on the block because if your hips are tight, it gives you a little more room to play with. I'm going to show you from the side. And when we
need to talk to him.
Yeah.
Hey. Gotta mute you, Mom. All right. So, as always, I like to show from the side while Robin, my roommate here, best friend, while she demonstrates the movements you should be doing, okay? Start your watches, people. You got it, if you haven't yet. Okay. Put your phone on Do Not Disturb also if you have access to it and you don't want to be disturbed. Okay, so I like sitting legs in front, just crisscrossed. Just allow your shins to get heavy so your knees can point down towards the floor as best as you can. If they point up like this, that's okay too. You can also sit on your shins if you're okay with that and have the ankle mobility to get there. Just close your eyes to start and begin to push your hips forward and back, rocking into your pelvis. Get into the utmost position where your spine feels really arched, and then you can push the hips back or tuck them under to feel the spine round. I want you to find the center of those 2 ranges of motion. So hopefully you're high up on your sits bones, those 2 knobby points, and if you're unsure if you can feel them, just scooch your glutes out of the way so that you can really anchor in there. With your eyes closed, notice how your upper half is really holding itself up. Are you sunken back into your chest? Or can you start to pick your heart up, naturally finding length at the crown of your head? Notice if your mind is still wandering, and if it is, start to hone it down in on your breath, coming in and out of your nose. Don't change it just yet, but see if you can find just a rhythm right now, in through the nose and out through the nose. Maybe you start with a gentle hug at the back of your throat whenever you breathe out in particular. But then also when you breathe in. That smooth, controlled breath is what calms your heart rate down. It actually controls your blood pressure. What's considered to be an autonomic system, this respiratory rate, it is actually under our control. So it's autonomic and we have the control. But you have to choose. Choose your breath over your mind and where your mind thinks your breath can go. Sometimes when you have any kind of panic attack, asthma attacks, it's like a malfunction of your system and it constricts the airways, constricts your lungs. But if you actually just slow your breath down, it calms the system and the panic subsides. Take some deep breaths here. We'll count them out together. In through the nose for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it at the top for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold yourself empty for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 3, 2, 1. Hold empty. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Count it up on yourself. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. 2 more rounds. Inhaling all the way to the top. Hold it there. Exhale. Hold empty. Inhale. Hold it. Exhale. Hold it empty. And then resume your natural breath. Perhaps it already feels slower, more smooth. Your brain feels more calm. Stay for one more moment to set an intention for yourself, for this practice, this special time on your mat, to be with your breath, be with your body. Then bring your arms down by your sides. If your legs are crossed in front, go ahead and switch them out. If you're on your shins, totally okay to stay where you are. And then take a deep breath in, reach your arms all the way up overhead. Feel your heart lift. And exhale, interlace your hands at the top and bring them behind your head. Okay, from the side. Take a breath in, lift your chest, send your elbows out really wide. And then exhale, bring your elbows nice and close together. Give your head a little overpressure as you put your belly button back. Inhale, find that opposite big heart opening. Exhale, round into your spine, including your neck. Gently bring your elbows together. 2 more. Breathe in. Chin off your chest. Exhale to round. Try to keep it in and out of your nose. 1 more. Breathe in, send your elbows out. Exhale, round, round, round. Take a breath in and just release your arms all the way down by your sides. If you're not yet on your shins, go ahead and find that space, but come forward and start to tuck your toes under. You can come onto all fours and start to push into your feet, feeling the bottoms really open up with your heels stacked right over your big toes. You can take the time pulsing into it. But when you're ready, I want you to snag a block and stick it in between your thighs. And then have a seat on your heels. Kind of feels weird, no? But really hug that block in. When you give yourself that squeeze, that just aligns your hips and your knees properly, right? When we hug to the center, it just helps without having like, I don't know, stagnant, useless glutes, right? We want to hug it all in together. So that even pulls your spine upright. And I know if your feet are already starting to complain, that's okay. You can actually come all the way down on the tops of your feet if you need to. But take a breath in and reach all the way up. Squeeze your block, send your hips up. And exhale and take your right arm underneath your left. You can hug your shoulders or you can wind your arms all the way up. Okay, take a breath in, lift your elbows off your chest. Again, this time you're stretching out into the back of your shoulders. When you breathe out, sit back down, squeeze your block, let your elbows come back in towards your chest. Inhale, squeeze the block, get out of your hip flexors, lift your elbows, maybe arch through your spine a bit. Exhale, come back down. Good. 2 more. You can add the flexion in your spine if you want. Inhale, lift up, squeeze the block. Exhale, sit all the way back down. Maybe round. 1 more time on this side. Inhale to reach up. Exhale to sit down. Did I say 1 more or was that it? That's it. Okay, good. Inhale, let's reach all the way up, releasing your arms. This time, exhale, send your arms back behind you. So have a little extension in your shoulders. Squeeze your triceps. Keep your palms facing the earth. But then let's add a mini seat. So you're sitting kind of halfway in between coming all the way down and coming all the way up. You should feel this little hinge at your hips. And while you're here, breathe into your chest. Pull your belly in towards your spine. Just give yourself 1 more breath. Good. Exhale, sit all the way down. You can give your thighs a little rub, your glutes a little tap. Keep them going. We're going to do the other side. Take a breath in, come all the way up on your shins, reach high. Exhale, this time the left arm goes underneath the right. You can hug the shoulders again or intertwine your arms as much as you can. Breathe in and lift your elbows high off your chest, little arch in the spine, tailbone down. Exhale, sit all the way down, squeezing your block. Inhale, reach it back up. Opening through the hips, the front line. Exhale, lower down. You should feel your glutes turn on for you. 2 more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. 1 more time. Breathe in to reach. And exhale to sit. Good. Inhale, let's come all the way up to the top again. Releasing your arms, take that reach high. Good. This time, exhale, sit right into it. Swinging your arms back, hinging your hips forward. Think about making this a heart opener. So keep pulling your chest forward. Think length all the way out through the crown of your head and through your tailbone, as if you had like a straight stick sticking out from your butt all the way through your head. Okay? Does it look like a stick with my arms? Okay, cool. Now take a breath in, come all the way back up. Do a shoulder roll. Exhale, relax them down. Let's move that block out of the way. Take your knees wide, toes together, push your hips back. And as you're coming down, do a little sway of your spine from right to left, or like a little dip of your shoulders until you come all the way down onto your elbows, or even until your chest or your head comes to the floor. You can reach your arms forward. Imagine your tailbone getting really heavy on top of your heels. A big bend in the knees. Maybe if you push into one hip and then the other, you can feel into your inner thighs. Notice how that feels. When you're here, imagine there being some space found in your low back, more of a tractioning. And slowly take a breath in, ride it all the way up into a tabletop. And again, walk your knees a little closer together. We're gonna do one more thing with the block in between our thighs, just to feel out the core in a different way. Okay, I'm gonna stagger with you, my dear. Squeeze your block. You can, again, if you need help with stabilizing, tucking your toes under can feel more stable than having your feet flat. Okay, take a deep breath in, reach up, try to make it a 5 count. And when you breathe out, take a side bend over to your right. And see if you can slide your right hand as far down to your knee as you can. Keep your left shoulder stacked over your right. Squeeze that block so your hips and your legs are staying as neutral as possible. You're finding this stretch through your side. Use your breath in to come back up. Squeeze the block, both hands high. Exhale, let's switch sides. Left arm slides down, reach up and over with the right. Again, keep your heart facing forward. So your sternum and your belly button are pointing in the same direction. Notice if you can find more depth on one side than the other. Connect to your obliques. Inhale, ride your breath all the way back up. Good. Exhale, take your hands behind you. If you can interlace them behind your back, try that. And get a little lift of your chest again. Squeeze your triceps. Tilt your tailbone down underneath you. Keep squeezing the block. Keep your chin off your chest. Stay for 3, 2, and 1. Release the grip, release the block. And go ahead and lower yourself down into all fours. Then walk your hands forward in front of you. Slowly come all the way down onto your belly. Okay, so give your knees a little squeeze and a release. You can bend them and tick-tock your heels from left to right, just to move the knees around a little bit. I know that we were standing on them for quite some time. Okay, and find some long legs. And what I mean by long is press down into the tops of your feet. I want you to stay as active as you can through your quads so your kneecaps will feel like they're lifted off the ground. Keep your feet hip-width distance apart. Take your right elbow out to the side at 90 degrees, so it should stick straight out from your shoulder. Look over to your left, put your right ear down, and use your left arm to help push you over onto your right side. You can use your left leg to lean back and twist a little bit. So you should feel a stretch in the front of your chest. So if I were on the ground, it would look like that. You can push. Okay, so we're breathing into the front of the left hip, the front of the right shoulder, this cross body sling, as if you're wearing a seatbelt. This is what you're stretching. Sometimes you have to play with the height of your elbow. Sometimes your foot won't land anywhere near behind you on the floor, but if it's floating, that's okay, as long as you feel that sensation of reach and stretch. That's perfect. Keep going in and out of your nose. Try for one more. And then slowly lower all the way back down into your belly. You can just stay in neutral for a quick second with your hands underneath your forehead like a little pillow. Feel what it's like to push your pubic bone down into the ground and then release it. What do you feel activating for you? What's releasing? You should feel your glutes turn on and your core turn on when you push your pubic bone down. Your low back should feel long, neutral. Last one. Then we'll take the left arm out to the side at that goal post position or 90-degree angle. Remember, follow Robin. She's the one showing you the right thing to do. Okay. Use your right arm to help push you over onto your left side. You can reach your right leg back behind you as leverage for a stretch in your chest. Breathe in and out of your nose. Soften that area around your heart, around your chest. Breaking out of that rounded posture. This is a great one to be in. And then slowly come back to the center. Let yourself neutralize again. You can bring your arms in the same place as you had them before, forehead on top of your hands, or you can bring your arms all the way down by your sides with your chin down or even your forehead down for a brief moment. Okay, so while we're here, we're gonna work a little against gravity to get out of that rounded posture shape and really peel the heart open. You can keep your hands exactly where they are underneath your forehead or lengthen them down again by your sides if you wanna try this. Let's find a little tightening of the legs. Pubic bone into the earth. Take a breath in. Start to lift your head, lift the back of your heart, and fly your arms back behind you, or you can keep them glued. Think elbows lift, so your fingers are energetically trying to lift up your head. Stay for one more breath. Just the upper half up. Good. Exhale, come back down. We'll try that one again. Just give yourself a moment to find your natural rhythm in and out of your nose. Maybe you start to notice your breath wants to pick up a bit, but see if you can keep it slow. Last one. On your exhale, tighten up your legs. On your breath in, start to lift up your upper half. Maybe match it on your exhale with the legs. Fly up a little higher as you breathe in. Stay for your exhale. One more lift, breathe in. Good, exhale, let it all go. Give your legs a bend and wag your heels from right to left. Windshield like that. Yeah. Time them out with a neighbor if you have a friend going with you. And then slow your roll down, lengthen out your legs. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Pick yourself up as you breathe in into a tabletop shape. And then start to walk your knees forward. You can kick your heels out one way and sit the other way. And just bring your legs out in front of you. That was a lot of extension, so let's get a little flexion. Sit up high on your sits bones again. And if your hamstrings are really tight, so these muscles back here, you can bend your knees. But I want you to pull your toes back towards your face so you have really strong ankles. Take a breath in and reach high. Exhale, try to come forward with that long spine, as long as you can make it. Remember that stick? We're gonna try to keep that stick going. Grab to whatever you can. Take one more breath in. When you breathe out, now relax the spine. See the difference it makes. You can start to straighten out your legs or use your arms. Every time you breathe out, you gently hug yourself closer together. Not pushing into resistance, but really breathing at your edge. Notice if there's a place where you can soften, release something. Enjoy for 2 more rounds. Use your breath in to ride it all the way up in your spine. Okay. Bend your left knee and bring it onto the inside of your right thigh. And just for orientation's sake, we're gonna stay with the long leg lining up with the long edge of the mat. Okay, you're gonna take your right arm, hook your fingers on top of your left knee. Take a breath in and think about sitting up really tall. Use your left arm as a little leverage. Reach up. And when you breathe out, lean over to your right. So you're feeling a big side stretch through your left side. I'll show you on this side. And the more you lean back, you notice your right fingers are hooking down for you. See if you can push down through your left knee to find more of a stretch between your hips to your ribs and in between every rib and even underneath your arm into your lats. Maybe if your head feels heavy, you can bend your elbow and just cradle the back of your head with your left hand. Stay for a breath here. And out. Use your breath in. Come all the way back up. Take a big reach with both hands. When you breathe out, put your left hand down back behind you. You're gonna push into your shin, so you're gonna balance on that left knee again. But let's get your right leg long, open up to your hips. Go ahead and look up at the sky or the ceiling and reach back behind you, open up to your chest. Feel your left glute squeeze. Take a breath in, maybe you feel that in your hip flexors. Exhale, come all the way back down. We're gonna do that again, 2 more times. Inhale, lift up. Feel that stretch through your waistline on the right. Exhale, slowly come back down. Try to make that as smooth as possible, as smooth as your breath. Inhale, reach, lift. Exhale, come back down. Perfect. Okay, let's take your right leg and just cross it in front of your left. And I want you to walk your ankles out as far as you can away from each other. So when you look down, you have just a little triangle in between your legs. So it's not crisscross applesauce, like your heels aren't tucked in close to you, they're far away. From the side, it kind of looks like that. Okay, take a breath in, sit up really tall, breathe out, hinge forward, think long spine first, just like you did with your hamstring stretch, and then you can round down into your spine. So even when you're in a forward fold and you're working on your hip mobility, see if you can keep making this a heart opener and push your heart forward. Let your elbows or your hands traction back to keep your heart up. You can give in and have a complete fold, or you can stay upright if that feels better for you, more isolated in your outer right hip. Stay for 2 more. Breathe in, begin to rise up. Let's uncross your legs. You're gonna go wide with your feet. You gotta scooch forward. Yeah, get as wide as you can go. Okay. If you need to face the long end of your mat to make this work, that's totally okay. Put your hands behind you, just like you did before when you had your hands interlaced. It's the same idea. You're just gonna pick your chest up and rock your pelvis forward so your pubic bone, instead of pointing like up this way, imagine it pointing down towards the floor. You should feel a lot on your inner thighs, especially if you don't stretch them out so often, and that's okay. Just stay with it and breathe. So you can pull your toes up towards your face or towards your hips, and you can point them down. See what feels good. Maybe you alternate one and then the other. The more you totally pull your toes up towards your face, the more of a stretch you'll get in your calves. If this isn't enough for you and you feel like you can get more, you have more room, walk your hands in front of you and start to fold yourself down. And again, just from the side, you can keep this one where your spine is upright and you're still hinging forward at your hips, or you can let your spine crawl forward and down. I think for most of us, the posture to keep your heart upright feels open, receptive, just energetically. When you fold down, it's more of a sign of surrendering, which is good too. All of it's good. Maybe you try both. Let your body receive with your breath. Stay for 3 more rounds. Commit to being here in this shape. Last one. Use your breath in to come all the way up. You can use your hands to walk your knees in. Plant your feet on the floor. Hands behind you. Gently tick-tock your knees from left to right. Okay, hopefully this next side feels more doable. Okay, left leg will go out in front. Right foot will stick on the inside of your thigh. Take your left hand, cross it over on top of your right knee or thigh or whatever feels accessible, okay? Take a breath in, right arm reaches all the way up overhead. Exhale, take a side bend to your left. So imagine you're like a ballerina, right? You're having a long spine all the way out through your neck. You can cradle your head with your hand if you'd like. Try to lean back and trust that your hand will catch you. It'll pull your left shoulder underneath you and keep your right shoulder on top. So this stays as a fairly pure side bend stretch for your right waist. Maybe even for your left inner thigh and hamstring. One more time. Breathe in, come all the way up, both hands to the sky. Exhale, right hand will come down right by your hip, a little away from the hip, like that. Okay, use your breath in, come all the way up. Hips pointed as far forward as you can. Reach long, left fingers reaching away from your left foot. Stay for one more breath in, heart up to the sky. Exhale, slowly lower yourself down. So you're using your left glute to help you lower. 2 more times. Breathe in, reach your hips forward, swing your arm back, open up your heart. Exhale, slowly come down. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Come on down, nice and slow. Perfect. Keep your right shin where it is, but fold your left shin in front. Square yourself up. So your feet are out and away from each other. When you look down, there's a nice triangle. This is a modified double pigeon. Maybe you've heard of pigeon before. This is a really accessible way to get there. Even if your knees are pointed up like that, just work on relaxing your thigh bones, your femurs down. Okay. You can shift the glutes out of the way just like you did when you were seated on the block. Take a breath in, spine long. Exhale through your nose. Hinge forward. And then maybe fold all the way down. Keep talking to your hips with your breath. Commit for 2 more. And use your breath in to climb your way back up. Lean back with your hands behind you, uncross your legs, do a gentle tick-tock left and right. You will make your way onto your shins again, and just because we don't have the space either, and I want to show you from the side, you can stay facing the front maybe if you wanted to, but your knees are going to walk out nice and long. And your knees, when you look back, are going to be bent 90 degrees. Okay, you can lower onto your forearms. If you have 2 blocks, you can put one underneath your heart or your belly if you need that support. But your knees are basically going as far apart as possible, like into a splits with knees bent. This is called like a frog position. And I want you to play with keeping your hips in alignment with your knees, so push them back gently. And notice if it feels more intense with your tailbone lifted up or with your tailbone curled under, maybe somewhere in between. You're gonna find your spot and you're gonna breathe. This might be the most intense stretch that I feel like we've done. So even more important to stay connected to your breath, finding your edge and not pushing into pain, but if there's discomfort, that's normal. That's something you can breathe through. Just take 2 more. And then slowly you'll walk up onto your elbows if you lowered any further down than that. You're gonna want to take one knee in at a time until your butt lifts up as high as it can into the air. Bring your knees nice and close together, come up onto your hands, and just let your tail wag from side to side. So after that big abduction, we call it, right, where the knees are away from the hips, bringing them close together and letting them adduct feels good. Or like a counter pose. And then you can just take your seat to one side. Put your feet at the very top of your mat, your butt at the very end, and just find a nice tall seat. We're gonna do one more bit of breath work before a last pose or two. Okay, just to settle our systems down for the evening or for rest, Shavasana, this is a great little breath work to do. We did this last time. You're gonna plug gently your right nostril and take your breaths in and out of your left. We're gonna do 10 breaths together. Go nice and slow. In and out. Feel free to close your eyes if that feels safe in your body. Five more breaths.
Do you remember when you looked in the water and saw your reflection there? They drew out a map and they showed you direction to send.
Last one, wherever you are.
Your heart is at peace when you enter.
Now relax your hand down, away from your nose. Breathe in and out. You can keep your eyes closed and just trust your body that you'll get to the right spot. Bring your feet out in front of you. You can use your hands to help lower yourself down on your hamstrings. Take a breath in, sit up tall. Breathe out and round your spine until you lean back and you feel your low back land down softly, followed by your upper back, and then your head. Walk your feet in right behind your glutes. Give your hips a rock. See if you need a twist. You can take your right leg over your left and then push your hips up and over to the right. Then let your legs fall to the left. So if this winding of your legs is too much, you can just keep where your right leg is and you can straighten out your left leg underneath you. Bring your right arm out to the side, keeping your shoulder open, your chest still facing up towards the sky, but your hips, you're laying on your left hip. Take one more. And then slowly unwind yourself back to the center. Adjust your hips so you feel in alignment. Give your knees a mini squeeze in towards your chest. Land your feet down, but cross your left leg over your right. Pick your hips up, shift them to the left. Legs will fall to the right. So you should feel like you're on top of your right hip. Your left shoulder is heavy. Maybe the back of it doesn't touch the floor, but that's okay. You should feel this in your upper back, upper mid back. Steady breaths. Two more. Unwind your legs. Slowly make your way onto your back. Give your legs one more squeeze. And squeeze yourself so tightly that your head picks up, your face, your mouth. You can kiss your lips, or kiss your lips. You can kiss your knees. And say thank you. Take a deep breath in. Exhale and let your legs open up. Let your hands fall down by your sides. And just let yourself take up space. With your palms face up, take 10 more conscious breaths. And by conscious, I mean you're just watching them. You're not controlling them. They don't have to be forced. Call upon your intention again, whatever it was at the beginning of your practice that you set. You're not judging yourself whether or not you accomplished that or not, but you're just gently reminding yourself what you came here on your mat for. And just know that every time you show up on your mat, that's the time where you get to practice that presence. If your body, your mind, everything else within you feels ready, take a deep breath in and a grounding breath out. Start to move your hands and your feet and wake yourself up in the most intuitive way. Just feeling into all those nooks and crannies until you can give yourself a big full body stretch. And then you can bend your knees and roll over onto your side. I like to have you guys hold this position for an extra second longer to find gratitude. Because when you fill up with gratitude, you really have no room for anything else. So pick something, someone that made you feel grateful today. Fill your energy with that. And then carry it with you up into a seat. Crossing your legs or sitting on your shins. Find a tall spine and bring your hands together at your heart. Let your thumbs press against your sternum and empty out your breath. So breathe out. We'll end together with a breath in through the nose. Exhale out of your mouth. Thank you so much for showing up. From our hearts to yours, namaste. Did that go by super fast?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope you guys feel good. Thanks for coming.
Cheers.